Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I need a motion for the acceptance of the agenda. Joe, second. Rick? Any questions? All in favor? Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. Okay, nobody's for public forum, so that. So now we're on to the call for nominations. All of you got a little sheet that goes along with that, just to move things along quickly. So I need a nomination for president.
I nominate Bonnie.
Second, Ron. I accept the nomination. All in favor? Thank you. Next up, I need nomination for vice president.
I nominate Rick.
I second it. Do you accept?
Sure.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Next up, I need a motion for the visit, oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. So for the visitation committee, all of us are on that committee. So I'll make a motion that all board members are on the visitation committee. Can I have a second? Joe? Any questions? All in favor? Okay. Next up, I need nominations for the Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome Committee. Can I have a motion? Or nomination? I nominate Joe. Second. Margaret? I need another.
Bonnie.
Second. Accept. One of our board members isn't here, so. And then I need a motion or a nomination for the chairperson.
I nominate Bonnie.
Second.
There's a reoccurring theme here, isn't it?
Second. Margaret. I accept. Okay. So, I'm gonna go back over here. Be it resolved, the Board of Education appoints Joe Costa, Bonnie Torsia to the Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome Committee for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education appoints Bonnie Torsia as the chairperson of the Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome Committee for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. All in favor? Thank you. All right, next up we have the Policy Committee. I need nominations for the Policy Committee.
I nominate Margaret.
I second. I nominate, or Margaret, do you accept?
I accept.
I nominate Janine. Second. Rick, do you accept?
Yes.
Okay.
I nominate Bonnie.
Second. Margaret, I accept. Now I need a nomination for a chairperson.
There's going to be one, Margaret.
Okay, I will second it. Margaret, do you accept?
I accept.
All right. Be it resolved, the Board of Education appoints Margaret, Bonnie, and Janine to the Policy Committee for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education appoints Margaret as the chairperson of the Policy Committee for the 2024-2025 school year. Okay, Audit Committee on, huh? Oh, all in favor, sorry. Yep, my bad. Rick? Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Joe. Audit Committee, I need nominations for the Audit Committee. I nominate Joe. Second. Janine? Do you accept?
Yes.
Okay. The other two board members are not here. I also nominate Joe as the chairperson of the Audit Committee. Can I have a second? Ron? Do you accept?
Yes.
Okay. Be it resolved, the Board of Education appoints Joe Costa to the Audit Committee for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education appoints Joe Costa as the chairperson of the Audit Committee for the 2024-2025 school year. On to the liaison.
All in favor? All in favor?
Oh, all in favor, I'm sorry. My bad. All right, next up, the liaison committee. Can I have a nomination, please?
I nominate Bonnie.
Second? Janine? I accept. All in favor? We don't have a chairperson. We do not have a negotiation committee, because we don't have any contracts that expire, this coming school year. So we won't fill that committee. So budget committee, I need nominations for the budget committee.
I nominate Ron.
Second, I will second. Ron, do you accept?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I need another nomination.
I nominate Margaret.
Okay. I second. Margaret, do you accept?
I accept.
Okay. And we don't, chairperson isn't here tonight, so we won't go through that. So so are we all, we're all in, let me read it. Sorry. Be it resolved, the Board of Education appoints Margaret Halsey and Ron Morales to the Budget Committee for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education appoints, well, we don't have that person yet. So, all in favor of the two people on the committee? All right, thank you. All right, Legislative Committee, I need nominations for that.
I nominate Rick.
Okay, second, I will second. Rick, do you accept?
I accept.
Okay. Another nomination?
I nominate Bonnie.
Thank you, Janine. Second? Margaret? Yes, I accept. And a nomination for the chairperson for the legislature.
I nominate Rick.
I second, do you accept?
I do.
Okay. Be it resolved, the Board of Education appoints Bonnie Torsha, am I right? Yeah, and Rick Brock to the Legislative
Close.
Committee for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education appoints Rick Brock as the chairperson of the Legislative Committee for the 2024-2025 school year. All in favor? All right, thank you. Facilities Committee. I nominate Joe. Can I have a second? Janine, do you accept Joe?
Yes.
All right. Need another nomination?
I nominate Rick.
I will second. Do you accept?
I do.
Okay. And the chairperson's not. Okay, so. Be resolved, the Board of Education appoints Joe Costa and Rick Brock to the Facilities Committee for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. All in favor? Thank you. Oh, last one, yes, the DEI Committee. So I need a nomination for that.
I nominate Ron.
I'll second. Ron, do you accept?
Yes.
Okay, I nominate Janine. Second. Margaret, do you accept?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. So, be it resolved, the Board of Education, oh wait.
And I nominate Ron.
Thank you.
Nominate Ron to be chairperson.
I second. Do you accept, Ron?
Yes.
Be it resolved, the Board of
All in
Education.
favor?
No, I gotta read this.
All
Be it resolved, the Board of Education
Joe.
appoints. Janine, is it Earnhardt? Okay. And Ron Morales to the DEI Committee for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education appoints Ron Morales as the chairperson of the DEI Committee for the 2024-2025 school year, or fiscal year. Can, all in favor? Thank you. All right. That's. All right, acceptance of the consensus agenda. I need a motion for the acceptance of the consensus agenda. I can't speak tonight. Sorry. Motion? Margaret, second. Ron or Rick? Any questions? All in favor? That's coming in the,
Oh, okay.
when we do personnel.
Oh,
I was wondering where that was too. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So now we have presentations. It is the Greater Capital Region Track, Field, and Cross Country Hall of Fame Scholastic Award. That was a lot of words.
I'm not sure how effective an organization we are, but we have the longest name of anything.
Well, I saw those letters like for short, and I'm like, what is that?
And it's not, HOF will work nicely, Hall of Fame. It's
Okay.
a organization that some friends and I put together 7 years ago. It's our seventh time around this year. And really felt the need to be able to honor some of our great track and field and cross country and road running people in our area. Sometimes that our sport doesn't get the recognition that some of the others do. And I was talking to Mrs. Howard maybe about a week ago, and I wondered how much time the board was willing to cut me to make the presentation. She said, Pete, you gotta come quite a ways from Burn Hills. Why don't you take about a minute for each mile that you drive? So it was 68 miles. I think I can keep it under an hour though. But I'm gonna edit that down a little bit because I know you're involved in a reorganizational meeting, and that's gonna take some work to get through all of that. Let me say, having been in the world of education, out for 17 years, but in the world of education for over 30, let me extend my appreciation for all the work that you do down here in the school board. I know it's not an easy job. The neighbors kind of barking at you and a lot of money to account for and facilities and so forth. So you don't always hear that kind of appreciation. I want to extend that to you folks. Obviously, one of our 4 Scholastic Award winners this year is Neil Howard III. No surprise to anyone, AD or the coach. I ran in Albany back in 1966 to 68. Talk about dark ages. So long ago, the school doesn't exist anymore. So I've been around this thing for quite a while, except for 4 years at college. Started a team, an indoor team at Scotia Glenville. Have officiated. I've been on the USATF world for a period of time, and Neil's about as good as anybody we had involved in the track and field world. In Section 2, we call it scholastically. We didn't want to, we wanted to exit a little bit from the Section 2 world because this is not a Section 2 Hall of Fame that we have. Quick story, because I want to keep it under an hour. I was officiating out here at a dual meet not too many years ago, but it was probably 3 or 4. I think Neil was a freshman or a sophomore. If you're at a dual meet, you only either do the finish line or start the meet. But Neil was overdoing his thing in the pole vault, and that day he happened to set the school record. At which point, somewhere after the running events ended, pole vault, especially when you're jumping 14 or 15 feet, always takes a little bit longer. I went over and said, if you keep at this, Neil, at some point you'll be the best pole vaulter in your house. Because Neil's dad, Neil II, was a very, very excellent pole vaulter himself. Well, we all know how that ended, right? 17-1 and a quarter. The New York State record was accomplished this year, along with so many other wonderful things. When you hear other athletes, as I do, high school track and field people, talking about one of their contemporaries, one of their fellow athletes, in the kind of tones that they do about Neil, it's really telling about the kind of reputation that he has, not just on the pole vault runway, the hurdles and those kinds of things, but I know that he's a fine, upstanding person, and that you get all the good scores, and we're wishing him the best of luck in Michigan. We are going to present him as we did last year, because he was one of our 4 Scholastic winners with a much more impressive award than the certificate. But we like to catch up either at a team party or a board meeting, and so I've been getting around to some of the other activities. And not too long ago, I was at Columbia awarding a certificate to Ava White. She's a 10th grader who won the state championship in intermediate hurdles not too long ago. And I mentioned how Ava was probably only one of our two, not probably, she was one of our two female winners of what I would guess, a little quick mathematics, 2,000 young women who run track and field in this capital region. I was going to say the same thing about Neil, but I think ours pales in comparison to this particular award because Neil was also the Gatorade Athlete of the Year in New York State. And I didn't crunch the numbers on New York State, but there was probably 250,000 kids out there doing all kinds of sports, and it's great to see a track person be able to top that list. Although I thought it was interesting, they call him a track and field player. That's one that, the Gatorade people may need to fine tune a little bit, but it's not football and it's not baseball. In any case, I gotta wrap up here, but not without one quick story that you don't know probably about Neil. Beyond all the academic and the community service and the just incredible panorama of track and field and athletic awards he's accomplished, the young man answers communications. He'll send you a text message back if you send him one, and that's a very, very rare. It's a very rare
He's not lying.
quantity,
It's very rare.
quality, whether it's my children, my sisters, and that's great that he takes the time to do that. John?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna go another minute because we have with us today a large person who you folks may or may not know. I believe he graduated from Taconic in 1974 because that's where he did his damage in the shot put. And Sybil emailed me the other day and said, John may make it to the meeting. He's in town bringing in the hay on his parents or somebody's farm. And I said, John's not much younger than me. He may not want to be out there bringing in the hay, but he's probably in much better shape than me and significantly larger than me too. So I hope you didn't overdo it, John. 2024, 7th class, to be inducted into our Hall of Fame this year. And maybe a little round of applause is deserved with that. John is in the 2nd place all time in Section 2 shot putters in the outdoor shot put. He was in the high 62s in that. And indoors, he was also over 62, maybe a little bit lower, still number 2. And number 1 on that list is Andy Bloom, who went to the Olympics. And we're just great that we're able to get John into our hall. And I know he doesn't live in this area anymore, but I hope he's able to make it up in October.
Yeah.
And so without further ado,
Wait, what year was that?
Graduated in 74.
Okay. Nice.
That wasn't yesterday. And it dawned on me as I was looking at those dates, the 1974 throws, that it's 2024. It's 50 years since John launched those things as far as it. I think I saw you throw once, John. I was coaching at the time, and he was getting it out there farther than everybody. And his state champ is just like Neil. I don't have a certificate. We're going to take care of John on October 5th. And if any of you can, get up to the Marriott on Wolf Road, we'd really love to have you. We'll send a word to the AD on how you can register for the banquet. Have Neil sign on the dotted line because he's going to be out in the Midwest pursuing his collegiate education athletic career. But we'd love to have you there. And we'll take care of John at that point. So Neil, could you come on up? We'll give you your certificate. We'll give him something a little more meaningful on October. Congratulations. He's no longer a student here at school.
May I take a
Thanks so
photo
much.
of you guys? Anyone else wants to join as well?
I love that. Right.
John, do you want to get in?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome. And then there's one.
It's good to meet you. Thank you. Same here.
Take a couple, Neil, down him on my phone.
Yeah.
I'll be the little old guy in this picture.
Here, you go on the other side.
All right.
What about close?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, how do I get to the camera?
Okay, it's good. It's just not me, all right?
Where's the camera? You go first.
We get a second.
No, we didn't. They have to be looking at me.
Good.
Okay. photo users. Perfect. Neil, Sybil, do you guys want to take a photo?
Yeah, I'd like Neil too and his wife to come on up because what I didn't say is Sybil's on our Hall of Fame board of trustees as well. She's gracious enough to take it. She's not busy enough already. Why don't we just get the use guys? Oh, I gotta get off a video. Yeah, maybe you took a video, yeah. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
She's brand new.
We're hoping to go reorganization this evening.
So I've been watching some of the Olympic trials and, Neil, I think about you maybe 4 years from now. Let's hope you're there.
Yeah.
Where is it going to be, back in LA?
I'm not sure where it is at the next Summer
The next
Olympics.
Summer Olympics.
I think Anchor.
We were wrong about that. Either Anchor or LA, one or the other.
Well, we expand the facilities, we have here.
That's true.
We're still waiting for that dome.
Been trying for years.
Yep. Okay.
Aren't you a small school?
Now we have the superintendent report is next.
Right, well, we continue to have lots of exciting things happening, even though it is summer. We're very busy here. I want to congratulate all the work of our administration, teachers and staff, because we had a 92% graduation rate this year. The graduation went really well. We did have a couple exuberant students, yet all was handled calmly and well. Also, we had decided this year to give the opportunity to employees of Taconic Hills, if they had a child graduating, to be a part of handing their child's diploma. Another celebration is that Richard Jennings, who was involved in our tragedy in October, not only did he graduate on time, but that he was able to walk across the stage to receive his diploma. Really exciting. Some other highlights to share are that we have some great summer programs going on. We have our Titan Voyager. We'll be visiting the 3 camps in Prairieville, Hillsdale, and Copake. We have approximately 200 different students and 15 site visits scheduled for that. Our Summer Bridges program, which is for our middle school students, we have 22 students that are involved in that, which is very exciting, and our counselors and administration worked really hard to get our students signed up and involved. So it's great they're busy and something really positive this summer. For credit recovery, we have 14 students right now participating in that for a total of 36 classes that we're offering. And we have distance learning Regents review, which is in process. We're working on recruitment for that. We have some professional development offerings that we are using some of our CARES Act money for that are really important. One is Wilson Foundations, which is part of our phonics and phonemic awareness training. We want to build fidelity in that. We've had 18 of our teachers sign up for just a refresher course on that this summer. We have Orton Gillingham, which is really going to help that about 5% of our students that really have trouble with those foundations in reading. It's research-based, wonderful program. We have 19 teachers participating in that. And what's really exciting is that SUNY New Paltz is doing a micro-credential course on the science of reading. We presented, Dr. Gardner and I, on the last day of school, just explaining to everybody and also sending out email information about how important it is. It's not just about teaching kids how to read, it's also strategies, and everybody, pre-K through 12, teaches reading despite the content area they're doing. And this course will provide them the strategies to assist across content areas, and we have 36 teachers signed up for that. So that's really exciting. We have our leadership retreat for Tuesday, July 16th, from 5 to 8 p.m. And we'll have Dr. Jason Andrews facilitating that for us. He is the superintendent in Windsor School District. And we have strategic planning scheduled for August 5th and August 14th. I am excited to let you know that we have about 12 to 13 employees in the district who have agreed to be a part of that planning. So we're going to have a really nice, well-rounded group of people that are part of that, which will be great. Just some updates with buildings and grounds. We have continued to work on the terrazzo flooring. Atlantic testing has completed their testing. Any details, of course, we have to ask Nick a little bit further than my expertise, but the lab reports are done. They're going to an engineer. They're just looking to be extra cautious and thorough in what they provide us, and we should have those reports in the next week, I would say.
So based on the, can I just ask a
Sure.
question of Nick? So based on the results of these tests, what will be our, I mean, is Huzik even acknowledging anything or, you know?
Right, so we've had little to no communication from Huzik during this process. Once we get the test results back from Atlantic, we'll share it with Urban and Palazzo as well as Matt Schools, and then we'll have to formulate our next steps from there. Basically, the reports are going to lead us to where we end up.
Because it's getting worse out there, isn't it?
Oh, it's getting worse.
I saw X marks the spot.
Thanks.
We find them daily.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's
interrupt. I
okay.
just wanted to ask.
Just to let you know, the bus infrastructure is in progress. Back-ordered items have arrived. Everything's being installed. To go along with that, I just want to share that as far as the EV bus project, the bus arrival, because of inverter issues, is pushed out to December. Bobby, Joe, and I will be in the next 2 weeks reaching out to our vendor to just talk about things. They did push it out that far because they want to make sure that they have things in on time, because that is also linked to our grants. So Bobby, Joe, and Ashley have worked with NYSERDA to make sure that we have all the required paperwork coming from the vendor and the bus company to let them know why we are behind in that. So we should be all set with that. And also just want to do a shout out that we received a grant because of the work of Nick and Ashley and Bobby Joe together for another $350,000, which will pay for our chargers. So that's really exciting. Some of the other work going on this summer in the building beyond regular repairs is that the corridors are being painted on the second floor. We'll continue to have classrooms painted, and the pickleball courts are in progress, which is really exciting. Those should be ready by September. We'll end up with 5 courts that are dedicated just to pickleball, and then there'll be yellow lines on the basketball court for 2 other courts to be available, and also for people to bring their own nets, right? But that's great, because I think that it's really helping us to provide access to a sport that's become very popular, not just in our community, but with our students as well. And I think that's everything I wanted to share.
So the EV buses, so the EPA had a certain deadline, of course. So is that why we're submitting paperwork, so the EPA knows that this is what's going on, and because there was a deadline to receive the money, right?
Correct. So all that, I don't know if you want to speak a little bit more.
Yeah, so the deadline is October of this year, and the vendor and the manufacturer actually providing us with all the letters to send in. We have to submit all of that information to the EPA for the extension, and that's all we're going to be looking for is an extension. They'll provide them with all the documentation needed to get us through, and they're looking at December. They do expect it to be earlier than that, but they'd rather err on the side of caution and give us December. That's what Thomas had looked for, was a later time, but they should still arrive around November, but it's just the inverter caused a lot more of a backup than what they had originally anticipated. So, but we should be all set. They don't see any reason that we should not be approved for an extension, and everything else is falling into place. Our infrastructure, the buses, everything is
And
kind
that'll
of,
be completed over the summer, the infrastructure over there?
that it should be, if I had to take a guess, I would say it'll be completed well in advance of the end of summer. They're moving along pretty well over there.
Once that's in, I'd like to maybe use our visitation committee to go check that out, so.
Yes. I guess I do have one more thing to just share also, is that I am very excited to announce that we have all of our staffing positions filled, except for we're pending on a science person. And we need to interview for ELA for one of our teachers that just retired late. And then just a couple aide positions. And that's because we took a couple aides and put them into teaching assistant positions. So we're in a really good place, and I think that's a great celebration.
That is good compared to last year at this time. Okay, next up, we have the Board of Education member activity reports. We'll start with Rick.
It was good to go back to graduation as a board member and see the fine group of young adults that we're sending out into the big wide world. And on kind of a personal note, that's kind of a reset for me. Okay, like an annual reset to say, okay, this is why we're here. This is why we do what we do. And I mean all of us. And it's a good thing to be there for.
I'm glad you were there too. Margaret?
I also went to graduation. I loved it. I've only been to one other graduation here, which was my daughter's outside during COVID 2022. It was really hard to hear the speeches. This was awesome. The spirit of the school was awesome. I have to say, Lynette, I loved your speech. I really loved it. Bonnie did a great job too. I'm so proud, and I feel like I know all these kids, or a lot of these kids really well, and it was super exciting. So it was just a great night, and just wonderful speeches by the president, the vice president.
I loved Curran's.
Kern's speech was wonderful night.
Right?
I too was at the, I got to wear a black robe.
Yes.
I tried to go to Washington DC right afterwards, because I haven't problems with the Supreme Court. So
Oh, Lord.
I figured maybe they could use a helping hand. But they told me I was gonna get charged with some kind of insurrection, and I said, that's enough of that. But it was great seeing the kids. It's the first one I've been to in a while. It was good to see, you know, I think it went fairly smooth. I mean, the owner, or whatever his name was, you know, whatever, you know,
Yes, that
being a
was.
kid. And other than that, it was great. And 92% graduation rate, very something to be proud of. And I'm moving forward.
Thank you. Joseph?
Well, I have kind of a situation. I've been MIA lately because I have a retiree in the house. So I've been kind of busy.
Joe, that's more reason to get out there.
So maybe the novelty will wear off soon.
Go figure that one out.
David, Janine, yes.
Oh yeah, I could share.
All right.
I didn't go to graduation, but I went to the 8th grade moving up ceremony and the 6th grade moving up ceremony. I have 2 kids in the school, so. And it was so nice. I'm so glad I took off work and went to them. Because both my daughters kept going up there, getting awards, and it was just
Oh,
really
that's
nice.
nice.
I didn't realize, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize they were getting awards and everything. So I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I showed up. But it was really nice.
They probably were glad you did too.
Yeah. It's great.
I also went to graduation. You know, but besides that, and also Ron as well, we had a lot of IUD sessions to get the faculty association contract. I mean, I left the final night, but they were here at 10:30 at night. I mean, so really it was a lot of time, it was a lot of effort, but I think, honestly, I felt that it was a very good process that we went through. I think, this was my 3rd negotiations, and I thought this one went very well, and I think that was the reason why, is because we got to hear both sides of the story, and didn't have to agree, but at least you could be in the room and talk about it, so I like that. But that took up a lot of time this past month, so I'm glad we got it done, and yeah, moving on. Okay, anybody got anything else? All right. So unfortunately, guys, we gotta move into an executive session. I need a motion for an executive session for, do we have it? It's for, well, it's for contract. It's for negotiations, contract language. Motion, please. Joe, second. Margaret? All in favor? Right. We're just gonna stay here, we're gonna go over there. All right, we'll go over there? Sounds good.
This is your chance to run.
We have everybody back? All right, what do we got now? Okay, we all set? New business, got a couple of contracts there. So I need a motion for those. Motion? Joe, second? Margaret, any questions on those? All in favor? Thank you. All right, the educational services contract is on that page and then goes on to the following page. Motion for those, please. Thanks, Janine. Second, what's going on with these guys tonight? All right, any questions? All in favor? Thank you. Next up, we have the transportation contract extension. Motion, please. Joe, second. Margaret, any questions?
How'd that work out for us last year?
What?
The contract. Transportation.
So I think when we did this, I think we did it last year. Didn't we do it? Wasn't it a 3-year? I think this is just,
Last year was 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
it was 5 years.
That's why I'm wondering why we're doing
Yeah, why are we doing it?
Just doing updates.
No, it's
For the
5.5%.
Huh?
So gotta
Each
book
year,
contract
5
every
years. You just-
I think we-
5-year contract with an annual approval
Oh,
for the year.
Yeah, I think, because I did ask that question as well. When we did it last year, but his question is, why are we? But it was a contract that we have to approve every year,
You just have to approve the fiscal
part of it.
part of
Money
it.
approach.
that's what the contract is.
All in favor? I was like, where was I? Thank you. All right, next up is the the New York Annual Convention. So I need a motion for that. Joe, second. Margaret, any questions? All in favor? Thank you. Now we have the language proficiency team. Need a motion for that. Motion? Margaret, second. Rick? Any questions? All in favor? Next was the memorandum of agreement with the Taconic Hills Faculty Association, the contract. Motion, please. Joe, second. Margaret, any questions? All in favor? Thank you. Continuing ed for swim lessons. Motion, please. Janine, second. Margaret. Any questions? All in favor? The textbooks disposals, I need approval or a motion for that. Motion? Margaret? Joe? Any questions?
These books can't be repurposed to some other school? They're useless?
Well,
They're outdated most of them.
I was told in the past, sometimes they donate them to other libraries or schools or something. They don't, I don't think they just throw them out sometimes. Right? If I'm not mistaken.
It depends. Most of the things that came across my desk are really outdated. We have some textbooks from 2005. They're not.
And I know last year was like, she went through all the VHS tapes that were in the library, like, I don't even know if they make VHS.
They're antiques.
Right, but, we don't really use that anymore, so. Anyway, all in favor? Thanks. Consultant services agreement extension. Motion, please. Margaret, second. Janine. Janine's hand is getting some action tonight. Any questions on that? All in favor? Thank you. Okay, next is the annual business. So we're going to go through B through W. So I'll get the motion first and the second, and then if you want, just go through them, that's what we'll do. Motion, please. Rick, second. Margaret. So If there's any questions that you have on any of these, it's just mostly just standard. I had a question and I had asked Ashley, it was about on the H was the general fund to the federal projects, and that's for our, would you tell me, Ashley, or is Ashley?
It's for grants.
It's for grants for the, like the pre-K that we get money, so that's like the federal project because they pay us for our pre-K program, so that's what that meant. Let's see.
There's no attachment for like designation of investment of idle funds and stuff, that's the only.
Which one, Margaret?
Well, like just even B, I mean, designation of investment of idle funds, there's no attachment. Yeah, isn't that specific? Didn't we come up with something specific? I'm just wondering why the specifics aren't on here. Or am I missing something?
Well, a lot of this should be in, well, I shouldn't say. I'm thinking that we have a handbook that we get.
Okay, maybe I just don't, yeah, I just usually I expect an attachment and then it says this much or, you know.
Well,
that
as part of the board reorganization meeting, if I may, this is basically designating people to serve in these capacities. So for the one that you mentioned, like the investment of idle funds, we're designating Lucy with the approval of Ashley to invest idle funds. It's not about how much it is.
It's part of the reorg. I missed last year's reorg, so that makes, usually there'll be like an attachment. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I see. People.
Let's see if there's any.
Got it, that makes sense. It's everybody working like that.
We have all of our meeting dates are listed there for next year. Let's see, aquatic fitness center rates are listed. Building and grounds rates for people that want to use our facilities to make money. Approval of school meal rates. We have the substitute employment rates, which there was an attachment for that. And then the rates for our specialty people that come in and work here.
Question.
Yeah.
On the school meal rates, we're not charging kids for breakfast and lunch, correct?
No.
No.
So, okay, I don't understand what the rates are for.
Isn't that if an adult wants to eat a meal?
Well, it does have breakfast listed, grades 7 through 12 and PK through
If
6.
they want to get more, some kids want 2 ones.
Or we have to just establish a cost for it, whether
For
we're
reporting.
providing it free or not. I'm pretty sure that's part of reporting. And then also that's true, like Joe said, if
No,
somebody
the kid
wanted the
wants
second one, we have to know what to charge them. So it's just establishing a fee, so.
I just want to make sure we're still giving them
Yes.
breakfast and lunch.
Yes, we are.
That's all that matters.
Taxes.
Actually, in policy, we're having, we have a sample policy that NISBA sent us, and it has the old way, they call it, I forgot what it was, but I questioned it, but Karen Regina, who's in charge of our data, she was saying that we still need to kind of do, even though we're not doing that, we still need to have it in our policy because of the data reporting. So I kind of didn't get it either.
No, that's fine, I just wanted to make sure we had to change that.
Yes.
Let's see what else we got. We got the mileage rate. All right, so anyone got any more questions about any of this?
So what is the non-resident tuition rate? Or that's just,
That state.
It says it will be dependent on the New York State Education Department state aid,
okay.
whatever their methodology is, which I'm sure is interesting to say the least. All in favor? Thank you. So next up is a personnel agenda. It will be the same thing. It will be B through M. I'll need a motion first. Rick, second. Margaret? And then just go through those. Let's see, we have a new school counselor, right? New?
Yes, where is that? Brian. We do, Brian Whitley, he was already approved, however, because we have, one of our school counselors will be out on maternity leave. We wanted him to have the opportunity to come in to do some of his summer work with her as an overlap, so that when the beginning
Oh,
of the
so he's
school year
starting
starts-
earlier then.
Yeah, just so that we can allow him to work in the summer.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. Got the summer programming there listed. Sandra's gonna be the principal until the new one comes.
Thank you, Sandra.
Yeah, thank you, Sandra. Attendant. And the stipends for those, well, we just approved the contract, so those will go into effect, because it does say pending approval of the contract. And then what we got, content coordinators, tutors.
And I don't know if you just want to note that that's also part of, like, for example, for the teaching assistant, that's part of the contract, that there's a stipend for an associate's degree.
Oh, right, yes, that was part of the contract too, correct.
Just so people know why that's in there.
Anyone have any other questions on the personnel agenda? All in favor? Okay. So now we have annual appointments, and again, that's gonna be B through double Ts. I need a motion, please. Margaret and Joe. And just go through those. Joe, it's, Joe and Rick will be, our delegates and, alternate delegate, so on, well, no page, but it's on S, we have the appointment of the NISBA convention voting delegate.
So, I'll buy you dinner if you skip that. I'll buy you dinner if you skip that. If you skip the delegate convention.
Joe likes
It makes me
it.
go.
It makes you go.
Do I have to vote?
No, it's online.
You vote any way you want.
No, it's on Zoom. It was 3:30 in the afternoon till 11:30.
Yeah, he was texting me, it was like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and he's still on the Zoom call, I was like, oh, man.
Here's my, yes.
God bless
yes,
you.
Yes, yes, yes. I was gonna answer in advance.
So I just want you to write in there, Joe is the voting delegate, and Rick is our alternative voting delegate. Joe likes doing it, he loves it.
I know, but I know different.
Actually, he would like it too,
It's even
probably.
better that you can do it from home in a Zoom meeting and
Yeah,
maybe have
that's
a
true.
beverage.
That's the only way to do that.
All right, anybody got any questions on any of these other, I'm going through them, but I don't, it's just, you know. Who's the dean of students on Melanie already, and Grant Prime, okay, they're still doing it, huh? Good for them.
It was great, we have all our coaching filled in the fall.
Yeah, it is. Anyone have any more questions on any of those positions? All in favor? Thank you. All right, public forum, do we have anybody, do we have anybody else? No one wants to say anything? Okay, good.
You would've got the evil eye.
All right, anybody got any additional items to discuss? I don't have anything right at the moment. Yeah,
Well,
you do, oh, all right, there you go.
I just want to say that last night with our little workshop, at Valentine with Janine was great.
I think so too.
But we've come a long ways. First board member to have their nameplate the night of their first meeting. Amazing. It used to be months.
Well, they spelled it wrong 2 times.
Wow, we are really proofreading.
Yes, you better make sure it's spelled right now.
Joe, I think I had mine at my.
I wanna check with the person who did that, graduated from.
I had fun, you got your.
Yeah.
First it was Earhart, and then it was Earhart.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
He's a charm.
So our last thing
No
tonight,
offense, doesn't the newest person get the end of the table?
Oh, you.
Yeah, I already told them,
Explain
I've already
I'm
explained
just
it.
saying, somebody's playing favorites.
I've already
Yeah,
explained
you've been here
it.
24 hours and all I know is
Fine,
moving
Ron.
ground.
Yeah.
I've already
Why don't you
explained
take
it.
a chair outside the office? That'd be so much easier.
I've already explained it. She goes, you want me to move? I said, no, stay there for tonight. I've already
You got the
took care of it.
secret
All
all
right, it's all right.
And I know this, I know when
Listen,
when that sets them back, no clue.
fair is fair.
Me neither.
All right. The only thing left tonight is our second executive session. So this one's gonna be just between, us, Lynette, won't be leaving, so this is just gonna be our executive session to discuss some personnel. So, any motion? Joe and Margaret. All in favor? You? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, John, Alexis.
Indeed.
for-
I just wanted to make you feel at home. If I didn't say something, then people would be like, well, why didn't I say something?